Alrighty, so today's video, we're taking a look at this. This is the DJI Action 2. And interestingly enough, DJI just recently updated this to support gyro information. We all thought that this did not have a gyro, but apparently it does. And they went ahead and added the information needed so we can go ahead and process these files through GyroFlow. And hopefully too, it improves the image stabilization on this camera. So let's get this thing up in the air. So a couple of things you have to do to be able to get the gyro information working with the Action 2 is to head over to your Mimo app and download the software before you connect it to the Action 2. After the software has been downloaded to your phone, simply power on your Action 2 and download the firmware to the Action and let it do its update. The whole process takes about like 6 or 7 minutes. And then after that, it'll prompt you with some information on how to set the camera up to be able to use the new gyro information. So unlike the Avata where you have to be in 16:9 and in the wide profile, the Action 2 takes advantage of the 4:3 aspect ratio along with the wide profile. Make sure Real Steady is turned off and send it. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We have this camera set to 4:3 4K. And 30 frames per second, and image stabilization is turned off. And then of course, I'll also test it with the image stabilization turned on to see if there was any improvements now that we do have gyro information. All right, let me get flying. Now for today's flight, I am going to be using my Wasp frame from Woodchuck FPV. I haven't yet purchased the new Wasp frames to update this to the O3, so I am using the old Caddx Vistas, which are fine. For this test since we're not really recording to the Vista. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I can't wait to see what this footage looks like. Oh, it's one thing I missed is how well this frame flies. It's like never any oscillations out of this. You know, I haven't updated this particular air unit since I started testing the new goggles with the old air units. So I'm gonna keep this flight pretty short. Get a couple of little lines in here. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and switch this over to the 16:9 profile, 30 frames per second. And let's go ahead and turn Rock Steady on, because what I wanna do is I wanna see if there's any sort of image stabilization improvement to the Rock Steady. All right, let me get that back into the camera here. Power that quad back on. Clap-a-rooney, and we'll send it. I love this quad. This thing flies so damn good. Oh, thought I was going to go for it, but I had to hit the ejecto-ceto button there. Again, I'm a pussy. I don't feel like fishing a quad out of a tree is what the problem is. Let me just be clear, like that's my issue, is I don't feel like fishing for a quad today. That's my issue. It's not that I don't think I could do it. It's like, if I'm wrong. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to make the thumbnail. Like, how do you make like a really goofy thumbnail? Like, this is how you do it. You sort of, I don't know, sort of pull focus, and you're like, you got to make a stupid face. The stupid face is everything right here. And you got to give yourself room to put the text. And you got to look like somebody's sticking something in your butt. That's key. If you're not making a face like right here, anal face, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we just made a stupid thumbnail. I just gave you away the secret. Like, and if you ever just have a problem making a thumbnail, put your finger in your butt just for like about 3 seconds, and then it'll give you that oh shit face. All right, back to the studio. All right, so I just got done going through looking over the footage from the Action 2, and I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised with the overall improvements to this camera. Now, when this thing first came out, using it for freestyle FPV was pretty much impossible unless you turned off image stabilization. Now, a lot of pilots like to turn off image stabilization anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal, but it also forced you to fly in sort of a wider aspect ratio, which meant that everything was just overly stretched. I always felt like DJI's wide profile was basically super view on the GoPro, and definitely now with the latest GoPros, the super view really isn't all that super. So this is definitely a nice touch. I will say that the footage out of the GyroFlow looks fantastic. Now, I did set the smoothness at 0.120, so I knocked it back a little bit more than I probably should have. But if I turned it up more or left it to its defaults, it would probably stabilize it basically on par with Real Steady or even beyond. But I didn't really want that. Now, looking over the footage with Rocksteady, I'll say that Rocksteady definitely has some improvements. It's not perfect, it's getting better, but it no longer has this teleport thing that it used to do. There used to be this problem when you would use Rocksteady where it would almost like teleport the quad to another spot in the video, which was crazy. It no longer happens like that, so I'm happy to report that I feel like the gyro information that they've added into the videos definitely has assisted with the stabilization, and now this is definitely an amazing value proposition to purchase this because they also reduced the price, which makes it much more affordable than it was before. And it is so light. I think at the weight of this, it's like 60 grams or so. So I'm definitely gonna pick up another one of these. I have 2 of them, but I'm gonna pick up a 3rd because it's always good to have spares. And honestly, I just hope they keep making them because there's nothing on the market right now with gyro information of this size and capability. And yeah, actually I cracked this one. I don't know when I did that. Son of a bitch. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content just like that, be sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Be part of the asshole army. I encourage you to join this channel if you are an asshole just like me. I'll see you in the next video. Stay original. I think we may have got... Is asshole a curse word in YouTube's eyes? It may be. Damn it. I screwed up already.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you...